is now telling everybody she's the opposition leader in Venezuela, now telling Venezuelans to betray their country, to put their arms down and betray their country. So do not fight. So this is the situation. What do we do? What can I say? It is urgent for us to pay attention. I don't know why we haven't heard more from CARICOM. CARICOM is headquartered in Jamaica, and I understand that there is a focus on getting Jamaica back on its feet. But what countries do, sovereign countries do, and regional leaders do, is that, we talked about triaging last week, but you delegate. And so someone should have a close eye on what's happening in the Caribbean waters. Find a 2 minutes, because we saw the Prime Minister with, what's his name, Ramesh. And that was good. Little conversation with Ramesh. Find 2 minutes with the CARICOM person, the team. Be briefed on that. Discuss what the response is, what you're going to send up, because you're leading CARICOM right now, and then put that out there. So there has to be that kind of leadership. And leadership has to move beyond authoritarian. It has to be leaderfulness, collaborative, and multifaceted, multidimensional. I know we're throwing words around, but leaderfulness is a thing. And when you have a situation like this is when you talk about leaderfulness. It can be done, So this is happening. This is the Armada is in the Caribbean Sea. If you check what's being reported across the world, because people are reporting on this, apart from us here, people are reporting on this, and what they're saying is that there's going to be, most people, those who I trust actually, feel that there's going to be an attack. There's going to be an attack on Venezuela. A lot of people feel this way. So let's see what happens. Let's take a quick break. We'll be right back. Back on track. We are still, many of us across Jamaica, reeling from Hurricane Melissa, just under 3 weeks. And Roger Hasfall, Community, has been going around the island and has been talking to our brothers and sisters in the worst, our family in the worst hit areas. And he's been to Westmoreland. He called in last week to give us an idea of what was happening in Westmoreland. He said a humanitarian crisis was brewing. Now, we have Roger online because I know he went to Bethel Town, and we listened to that Unity, which we intended to play this morning, but wasn't able to. But he's going to tell us a little bit about what he's seeing across the island and where things stand now. Roger, morning. All right.
Happy marriage.
Roger,
so join me today.
No, I'm not hearing Roger. Where is he? Okay, let me try this again. Oh, he's on WhatsApp? Okay. Hey, Raj, morning. All right. So, cool. All right, so I'm hearing you, Raj, but you're not coming through, so I'm hearing you. Yes.
Yeah, good morning, Kabul. Good morning, listeners.
Roger, thank you so much for joining us. I mean, when you called last week, we could hear the pain in your voice because you were literally in the midst of what was unfolding, some of which you couldn't even speak about on air. That was, right. Where were you exactly last week?
I was in Westmoreland, particularly I stopped in Bethel Town and environs. So the districts, the adjoining districts that would have been in Bethel Town. Bethel Town is a very large town, very large, and then we went into the the places that a lot of visits were not made. And, it was very, very bad in terms of, people, we know that when we went into some of these districts, so the first time they were seeing anything in regards to aid, and we just had, the bare minimum in terms of what me and my foundation, Good Over Evil, we managed to put together.
Yes.
And these are the first time people were seeing anything.
Yes.
And it was that bad. I remember I was there, and a helicopter came. And when the helicopter came at the school, the Betheltown school, hundreds and hundreds of persons gathered on the school compound, and maybe just a few dozen who collected aid. And a lot of persons left disappointed. And one of the things that was quite kind of disappointing was persons coming to me telling me that anyone who collected aid, they had to have ID. And the complaint was that when Melissa came, she didn't ask if anybody had an ID or not. She just came and wiped out.
I have seen a response to that from the government, which is to say that no IDs are required. But you yourself, as a journalist on the ground and someone who had gone also in the name of your foundation, which would distribute aid to persons in need, you had people there telling you on the ground that they were required to produce ID.
Yes. And it based on what I saw, it was true. And it was kind of disappointing for a lot of the persons. Just that most of these persons, they have pride, and they're just not gonna make a big stink about how.
So let me just get that right, Roger. You witnessed that yourself?
Yes, I was there. I saw it for myself.
Right. So I hope that has been sorted, because I saw the response that no ID required, but people were asking for IDs. Tell me about the areas that you've been to.
Castle Mountain, quite a few of them. I don't remember the names right now. All of them was a housing scheme.
Okay.
Just a general Betheltown area and the off, what do you call it now? The offsprings or
the communities.
I remember
Yes.
Yes. So it was just the whole general area, because it's a very large area, very large. I mean, I think Betheltown is as big or even as bigger than Portmore in terms of the mass. Yes.
We're trying to get to Betheltown because we're slated to speak with some of the persons that you met there and talked, but we're not able to get through. And we understand.
Yes, because they have a connectivity issue down there.
Yes,
and I know that the doctor down there, he has donated his Starlink to the community. Maybe he's not there as yet. I know the police station, they have Starlink as well, but at the police station, Starlink is not that powerful. I don't know. And
we've been calling all morning. We've been calling all morning, and we're not getting through. But we did get through before, so we know that there are times, and we understand this, because for us here, we weren't hit that hard. We're having connectivity problems still, so we can understand. So what we continue trying, and I'm not even sure so the situation, generally speaking, Roger, because you said a humanitarian crisis, if help didn't come, and I suppose you have been in touch with the community. What are you hearing? Is aid flowing in now? Are people feeling more comfortable?
No, the persons are. It's just the same as last week. No change in terms of how things are coming, and things trickling. But it's like a dark fight in terms of when still things come. So a lot of people now, because they have pride, they just they just bite the bullet and just whatever happened, and who can go together and coming back for their families. But I know a lot of persons, they are still without shelter. A lot of persons are still catching with somebody else who have a concrete structure. You know, there are persons, I know a lot of persons who can't move from where they are. And, you know, these people need help urgently as well. As I said, there are a lot of rubble in terms of, you know, people, you know, losing their houses. Mm-hmm. And, you know, you go there and it's just there, and persons are there every day, you know, trying to pick up the pieces as to what can be done to, you know, a lot of people kind of help themselves, you know, in terms of even just tacking up something so that they can, you know, weather the night, as per se, you know. But aid is very, very limited. Limited.
All right, I'm going to now play because I'm able to get to the feature that you carried earlier, the ILREP, where it's Common Unity. This was broadcast. Right. When was this broadcast?
It was broadcast on Monday.
On Monday, and you're saying the conditions remain the same.
Yes. All right. No change in terms of, you know, and it's just the same trickling in.
Yes. And I remember last week you spoke specifically to what was needed, that food is good, yes, and people want food, but also building materials, critical.
Yes, that would be one of the most critical thing right now. They can't get, you know, materials in terms of, you know, even some basic stuff. You know, if people can't provide tents or board, I mean, there's a particular person that our foundation managed to raise some blocks for them. You know, we're going back down there maybe next week or so. You know, so that they can get the blocks.
Okay. You know? All right. Roger, thank you so much. Let me just go to the feature, the ILREP that you did here, and so our listeners can hear directly from the people that we're trying to reach right now, where nothing has changed much in Bethel town, as you heard from Roger. I'm going to take an early break, Raj, and then I go to the feature, the ILREP. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Thank you, Raj.
No problem. Come on, bless.
A hurricane, a Category 5 hurricane. We're trying to get back some semblance of order and some semblance of dignity to our lives. Roger Hasfall has been traveling around Jamaica, especially in some of the worst hit areas, and he's been to Bethel Town in Westmoreland, speaking to some of the residents there who have lost everything. He says he spoke to them last week. He says nothing has changed since this. So here we go.
Today, along with the Good Over Evil I Brave TJ Foundation, we will highlight the community of Bethel Town in eastern Westmoreland and the devastation caused by Hurricane Melissa. Now, Bethel Town is a vast settlement and former slave village in the hills of eastern Westmoreland. It was the site of the political riots back in 1938. It can be what is termed ground zero based on the devastation caused by the hurricane, with dozens upon dozens of families severely impacted. Today, we'll speak with some of the residents who gave their accounts on the Category 5 storm's passing. Derek Black X Robinson of the Taki Heritage Group, speaking through his interpreter, says Bethel Town was the center of the impact.
All right, so I speak for Derek Black X, and I also speak for Bethel Town. So this is the center of most of the activities as to what happened with Melissa. We call it ground zero because the impact was so great in Bethel Town. Majority of persons have lost their roof. We have experienced a lot of homelessness. We are experiencing a lack of supplies, hardware supplies. We are experiencing food supplies, lack of food supplies, etc. Financially, the community needs assistance, and therefore we are imploring persons who can give us those grants and any form of assistance. They can always contact us. We are also available to assist any organization that is willing to give to the people through the Taki Heritage Group. Yes, that's the group in which we function.
Now, Omar Edwards is a student of the Betheltown Primary. He gave his account.
The honest truth, sir, I didn't expect it to be so harsh. When time left and run out of the house, it was like drop same time as me left. It was very, very harsh.
Take us through that experience.
So me and my father and my sister run out of the house. After I see my uncle inside of the concrete house that we go into. So we stay in the concrete house through the storm.
Were you scared or you afraid?
Yes, sir.
Talk to us about that part. I mean, when you hear the winds and so on, or you felt during that time?
Frightened. Very, very frightened.
Student Omar Edwards, Clevan Edwards, who is born and bred in Eastern Westmoreland, he spoke on the immediate needs of the community.
Basic material I talk about like 2x4, lat, ply, zinc nail, wire nail. That the most easier thing people that want now. If you building block now, if your man will rise up with building block now, I'm going to say no. Reason being, no for now, you want something for going on now. If you take your water off of you. Further on in the future, you build up concrete fine enough. But right now, at this present moment, we want some material if we can build up a sink structure. Even a one room where we can put the family under. Big one, little one, old people, even young people see me too. Because some of we have asthma, some of we have sickle cell. And the water, worse rain a fall again, and I draw alone, you know. But rain a fall. You understand me I say? So a them thing there. You see me? Yeah. Because right now, me not start rise back yet. I put my material together because reason being, me still have to out there I help 1 and 2 people. Even with tap hole in the driver them play. Man want food, yes, but right now man would really prefer material and food. Because if you see your place, brother, your belly full. You're hungry, you know, but your belly full, brother. Trust me. And more time if you take it to heart, brother, you mash it down, brother. Sometimes you have to walk all over a place. You work there, you know, but you have to walk well if when they come to you.
Marissa Gordon spoke about the help that is specifically needed for elders in the Betheltown and environs.
You know, see, I have a lot of people out of us now, especially the elderly, them where, you know, the sick people, them we can manage and stuff like that. So, if we're gonna get help for them, we need help too, you know, but, you know, for the elderly one, we really need it like that. You know, mind if they can get some help. Although we're looking help for ourselves. Well, help coming in, but sometimes we don't really know because we live down the road. So sometimes when they help us, we're not here no. and first we get something. So you know, say we come out and go up at the school a while ago. We used to help. They come up there, so we say, I will walk out and see if we get here.
All right, thank you very much. I mean, we don't have much. We just never want to walk with too long.
Right. But thanks for the help anyway, because it's the and first way I get.
That is Marissa Gordon. Leonard Blake is from the Ashton community in Betheltown. He spoke about how they are coping up there.
Okay, so far we are trying to get in and back said way about, you know, work for loose, work for building and work for things with water. We're suffering for water and them things there. You know them way there? The water, the main thing right now, we're suffering for it. Yeah, man. Oh, God, no. The life in Jamaica, if you don't want to boy. We are going to disturb it. Disaster, so all we have to do is unite and get back on side so what we can do for each other, you see me? Man, and that is it and whatever. You help out each one if you can do it, you know them way there? Yeah. And we give thanks for the little help we're going on and get to that way, you know? Yeah, man, we have to give thanks for that and whatever, yeah, that is it. And we give thanks for life, said we have life, and for have life there is hope, said we, you know them way there? Yeah.
Deandra Thompson is from the Belvedere community. She says the community is well in need of material help to restart their lives.
They have some people in the community need help. They need bedding. They need tarpaulin.
They need zinc.
They need zinc. They need water. Because some people only have one black tank and they cannot find. We children don't have nowhere to lie down. So if you give me the food and we belly full now, we're stressing at the night.
Right.
Stress, rainfall every day. So I see a lot of help coming, but only thing I see coming is food. When majority of people in the community, sheep blow away, clothes wet up, and every day rain fall. And you cannot fall back if you cannot rest. We are going mad. So if you're going to help the community, help with some bedding.
Yeah.
Help with some tarpaulin. Some little zinc.
Zinc and 2 lard.
And 2 lard. Maybe you can find two zinc where kind of tear up. But if you give me 2 lard, maybe find 2 zinc for catch penny. So me get a start there, so.
That is Deandra Thompson. Senior resident Dorothy Mott She gave her interpretation as to what the hurricane was like in Bethel town.
My experience is that 3/4 of the roof went, leaving us all 3 people in one room. And all we heard was noise, bang, pop, every sound you can think of came through. It was like a hurricane category 10 with earthquake and rainfall and wind. So that is how I interpret what took place. I wish all stayed in one room for the whole night. And it battered the place left, right, and center. And if you look around, you will see the disaster. It can't be worse. Terrible experience. And that building over there, Rent, concerned me. This one here, that went, and some round the back. So you can imagine now I have to be very strong and have all these strong arm people around me helping me to stop me from falling down with Melissa. As you can see, everything is on the floor, on the ground. And so we see no post office. Part of the police station is gone. The community center, the clinic, the doctor's office, and everywhere is down. It's not flat, it is the roof. All the roofs are all gone.
That is senior resident in Betheltown, Dorothy Mott. Jennifer Beckford of Castle Mountain describes her experience in trying to get aid.
Well, all right here, so we come 2 days now to get something to eat, and see the crowd are down there. Nothing from them. I give out something at Betheltown at the first, and we still don't know if we don't get something there. Not every in my district, nothing now come issue out nothing. So if we don't left and come on the main, nothing. Cause see me left here now 2 days now me down here so. And nothing. See the local food come there, see the crowd there. What do take over now?
That's daily struggle.
Yes,
so
yes.
What are some of the immediate needs and wants for you people?
Like, we want enough things like food, water, clothing and support. And I'm bedding.
That is Jennifer Beckford. Boss Beckford says he does not live anywhere due to the storm.
It was very dangerous. I have to run from there to there to get a shelter right to the system. And right now I not even live nowhere. Cass Mountain, Westmoreland. I don't live nowhere right now. House blow down, bed gone, everything gone. And the storm was very dangerous. Because about 3-4 times I come down here and never get a package yet. Never. As master got up there and never get a package yet. It's very rough. Right now we did there for morning, drink like a black tea and not even eat again. Thank you, darling. You understand? That's how it goes, you know, man. Everybody destruction system. So the system goes. So I try to get anything down here so right now. Because I not have bed to sleep on. I catch a people place, you know. Catch a people place because this time never easy at all. Tear up the roofs, you just left one little place. You just turn up and then about 5-9 of it turn up in one little space there. May I tell you, we run like a nut man. Right now all my foot them here say whole of them cut up. But me run the night and them here then. I tell you, this time not easy. Dangerous storm this. I don't know how this storm came, but it came. We need some help, man. Not even more. Look here, I'm in das and I'm not blowing. I think the one must believe a joke talk me now. I see what's talk me now, man. Nothing left on the line, man, everything.
That is Boss Beckford. Pastor Aldine Sutton, a resident in Betheltown, has expressed concerns that persons are being asked to present IDs for aid.
Persons are here, and we get to understand that you have to have an ID to collect the package. Now, why do we need an ID? Melissa did not ask who have an ID from who don't have an ID to collect package. Now, I can guarantee that most of the persons that are here only heard the helicopter and just run. None of them come prepared with an ID. Are you going to turn them back? We have to put humanity first. The most important thing. I don't have to collect nothing. But the persons that are here who are desperately in need, you're going to look at them and tell them because you don't have an ID, you cannot collect a package. Complete nonsense. If we're going to help people, we're going to help people without conditions. Too much conditions. Put away the bureaucracy. This is time for help. This is time for humanity to come together and help each other. That's my take, all right?
Pastor Aldine Sutton. Vernon Brown from the Castle Mountain says he's among those who lost everything.
Wow, at one point I swear it was a rapture, my brother. I swear everybody's life was going to take out, you know. Apart from, we only lose one person in here, one good family friend. After the storm, him die, him shake up in the storm and die after, from here, so. But apart from that, a lot of people don't have anywhere to lay them head, you know. Yeah, it's really, really hard, I'm telling you. I don't know when people go find a dry space to put them head. Really hard on the poor set of people right now, I'm telling you. A roof over many head. And food, waters, material, if put back if I even shelter over a lot of person head, you know. Yeah, that's the most necessary thing right now. Like for instance, 2x4 zinc lot, and who can get some cement as well, if you put back a foundation, get some cement with sand and stone as well, and stuff like that. Those necessary kind of stuff we can put a roof back over our head right now.
That is Vernon Brown. Alicia James from Castle Mountain was close to tears as she spoke about living in the rubble.
Welcome to the community of Castle Mountain, to limited trees and limited leaves on tree. This is what Melissa have left us with. We are among the rebels just like other persons. Not only that, everything named board house in this community is demolished completely. But guess what happened? We have life, and we are grateful, and we're thankful that we have life and we can start over. Because when you look at some of the things that happen here from Melissa, the community is, we have one death from this. A young man that lived over there by the name of Bolo, he passed. But we are standing and bracing. Glory be to God, we have some good Samaritan right now that bring us some food item which we are grateful for. So when you go back out there, remember Castle Mountain. We are in dire need because everything near board house is flat. And those that are concrete, the glasses are gone, doors are gone, but we're still grateful that we're still standing. And once we're still standing, it means that the Lord will help us to bounce back. So remember us and send help for Castle Mountain in Westmoreland.
That is Alicia James, and we close out with Blackheads of the Taki Heritage Group, who spoke on the vision for Bethel Town arising out of Hurricane Melissa.
Yes, so the vision for Bethel Town is for us to create a city to some form of development. Bethel Town has always been crying for development.
All right, thank you so much, Roger Hasfall, for that. Just spoke to Roger, you heard him before this, and he says nothing has changed. The situation remains the same. Just a quick reminder that the IRFM 11 Coca Relief Drive is underway, and we're appealing to you to give generously to people in affected area. They need urgently fresh drinking water, rice, flour, sugar, non-perishable food, tarpaulin, solar lights, battery or solar-powered radios. Personal hygiene products are also welcome. Drop your donation at IRFM right here at Coconut Grove in St. Anne or 1B Courtney Walsh Drive in Kingston. We will get your donation to those who need it. A small donation from you will make a big impact on somebody's life. The IRFM 11 Coca Relief Drive. Let's get Jamaica back on its feet quickly and make things irie still. Just a note, we do not need any more clothes. No more clothes. All right, so we've got enough clothes. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Fresh drinking water, rice, flour, sugar, of agriculture and fisheries. Floyd Green. Minister Green, we're not getting you. Your phone is ringing to voicemail. The preliminary assessments show that Hurricane Melissa caused about 29.5 billion in damage to Jamaica's agriculture sector. More than 70,000 farmers were affected, and the damage spans 49,390 hectares of farmland. That's the information coming in from the Ministry of Agriculture. Of course, you recall the hurricane made landfall on October 28 as a Category 5 system with winds exceeding 260 kilometers per hour. The hardest hit parishes include Westmoreland, St. Elizabeth, St. James, Hanover. These are major agricultural producers. What has happened to the recent gains in agriculture in Jamaica is a question. Before the storm, the sector was on target, we are told by the ministry, to exceed its 2022 crop production, and that this is now seriously threatened, this progress. So there are detailed crop losses, vegetable lines, banana and plantain, fruit trees, tuber crops, yam, cassava, etc., coffee, 40% of trees damaged, 40 to 45% production loss, estimated 800 million Jamaican dollars in damage to the coffee industry. Regulated crops, including ginger and turmeric, large damage there. Livestock and fishery, losses in that sector. Poultry, other livestock, fisheries, infrastructure, vulnerability of Jamaica seriously exposed here. We're standing by to speak with Minister Floyd Green. We're not getting him on the line. We have been talking to him up to yesterday, and we're not hearing him this morning. But Minister Green, I know that you've got an interview, so you are probably listening. It might be a connectivity problem, depending on where you are. We are trying to use everything in our arsenal to get to you. If you can get to us, we'd appreciate that. The implications for food security, rural livelihoods, and all of that. With the loss of over 41,000 hectares of crops and massive livestock destruction, what does that mean for Jamaica? Of course, we are already seeing reduced domestic supply of vegetables, of tubers, of fruit, and of poultry. Friend wrote to me this morning and said he went to the supermarket and eggs came up short. Not getting him? We're still not. Sorry, say that again. All right. So the minister said that there will be, that plans are in place. And we want to talk to him about those plans also. I know Jamaica is very concerned at this minute. As Jamaicans, we are very concerned because we know literally when we talk about St. Elizabeth, Westmoreland, St. James, Hanover, all that area, we're talking about literally the food basket of Jamaica, the center of where most of Jamaica's domestic agriculture comes from. And so there is concern. Those farms have been devastated, decimated. The pictures you're seeing of banana trees and plantain trees and all crops wiped out and yam and cassava and just this decimation. So obviously there is a serious problem. And we are beginning to get glimpses of it. And I suppose there are some persons who are already seeing that in the supermarkets and in the markets and so on. But the minister also said, I recall, and I don't have this document, but I do recall him asking people, Jamaicans in other parishes, and I'm not quite sure what the answer is to that. For food security. Food security is a bedrock of this program. But we're talking about food security and now food safety. Food security and safety, because we're hearing also that the Minister of Health has warned, is warning Jamaicans to be careful about how you're storing food, and also I heard a discussion about the possibility of a case or two of leptospirosis. So this is critical now when you get a drinking water, when you get a food that you're storing. So we're also talking about food safety, but we're speaking seriously. What about both? But food security is challenged right now with what could result in a trigger in increased food imports and the rising food prices with greater pressure on household budgets. A major setback, of course, to Jamaica's agriculture recovery. So when we think about culture, the people, the culture of the people, there's something else that we have to think about and to focus on, which is the agri-culture. Where you are, start planting crops that can come quick. Plant your callaloo immediately, your cabbage, etc. You know, quick cash crops. Because the food basket is devastated. The rural farmers, how are you managing? I'm not quite sure what is in place for farmers. Is something we wanted to talk to the minister about. He said that 70,000 plus farmers were affected in the rural communities. We have St. Elizabeth, Westmoreland, St. James, Hanover, that they are experiencing immediate income shocks, and wanted to talk to him a little bit about that, about what is in place. Many small farmers are operating without savings. You know, they used to have a bank named the PC Bank. I don't know what that bank was. That bank for loan? What was that bank for again? It was a farmer situation. I don't know what the insurance, crop insurance. I remember when Bobby Montague was agriculture minister, he talked a lot about insuring animals and crops and so on. So I'm not quite sure if that was in place. What are the financial buffers that are being put in place for small farmers? Such a large swathe of Jamaica are small farmers everywhere. And even if you're not in the badly hit areas, the winds were strong enough in the farming communities to have devastated everything. I can tell you that all my lemon tree fall down. You should see my husband in the morning after I push back the lemon tree and I catch it with all kind of something. It catch back too. But, you know, all the bananas, all the plantains, you know, every tree where could have fallen, the strongest trees in my yard were the mango trees. But everything else, the moringa, you know, the June plum, soursop, I mean, everything just blew down. Not to mention the banana and the plantains.
No man can.
And we're talking about areas that were hit, but not badly. But the wind was so hard, the breeze so heavy that we lost plants. Much less the small farmers just across Jamaica. So the conversation on small farmers in the worst hit areas, yes, we must have that, and we must ensure that we are cushioning that fall. But in the areas that are not so badly hit, there are farmers also who have suffered devastating losses. This is a reality of the situation.
Hold your hand.
And then the severe strain on livestock and poultry. We saw Damien Crawford posting on social media just the carnage, the death of livestock, and we've seen others talking about this poultry. Just generally speaking, over half of the island's laying hens, we are told. There's a disruption in egg production, and this disruption could go on for months and months and months. Poultry shortage, of course, that I hear people already saying that they're seeing an increase in the cost of chicken, and you know, but here we are. The damage across 148 fishing beaches and just 2.74 billion in losses across Jamaica's fishing beaches. And this signals that the fish supply, which is a key source of nutrition and a livelihood here in Jamaica, that this will dip significantly. And we haven't even begun to look at the beaches. The coastal microeconomy is reliant on daily fishing income, these are going to feel immediate hardship. We've been looking at some of the fishing beaches, and the devastation there is one thing. And, and just as an aside, some of the beaches there's a disaster capitalism going on, where there's a grab on the beaches, people are locked out of some, and all of that. It's a whole other conversation that we're going to have. There's just so much to talk about coming out of this, because we have to be mindful of disaster capitalism. Let me take a quick break and come back. I have the answers, but I am raising the questions just the same and giving you as much information as I have. Minister Green, this morning when I announced what I've stopped doing on this program, right? And I laughed when I did it, because I totally forgot that I shouldn't have done that. So that I stopped doing at 6 o'clock announcing who's coming up on the program, especially when it's a politician, because there's a system, a well-oiled system in place here in Jamaica, that when I say earlier in the program at 6:30, who the upcoming guests are, that there are people who call those people and tell them not to come on. And the minute I said Floyd Green was going to be on, I remember the Christopher Tufton interview, right? And many more, by the way, many more. Which is to say that once I announce them, they never come on. So I figured that out a long time ago. And so what I stopped doing, and our listeners would know that this is a truth, that I've stopped announcing who's coming up what time in the program. But I completely forgot this morning, after so many years, and announced him. Now, it's an interesting situation, but I said to myself, and I chuckled at the moment, because I said to myself, I've just said he's going to be on, and somebody's going to call him and tell him not to come on, because I'm going to ask him other questions. But listen to this, I'm not asking anybody any other question in this period. If you notice what I'm doing, this is not a time to focus on all of the other issues that we have to discuss. Right now, we're in a place, my phone is ringing, but pardon me, I should have turned it off. So right now, we're in a place where it is so important for us to know what's happening, to know where the help is, to know what is happening, to know where to go, to hear from those who are in leadership positions. It is so important for unity at this time that I have thrown out the door all of the other issues that I have with whatever minister that I am talking to, that I need to ask about this or I need to ask about that. No. If we say that we're calling you to talk about the agriculture sector, is that we are going to talk about. Because right now, today, I have no time for nothing else but to find out what is the state of food security and safety on the island. I have no other interest. What are the plans? How the farmers are going to manage? How we're going to feed ourselves? Is there a starvation situation coming up or not? What you going to do? The only question that I would have asked that would be any way controversial would be, how are you going to prevent a flood of GMO products from coming into the island? That is the only other question that I would have asked Minister Green, other than what he was, and that would be part of the question anyway, because he did say that there are plans in place to import. And so we still need to talk about food safety, because when we talk about food safety, GMO is the number one on the list, not leptospirosis or malaria or nothing. It is GMO. So I was going to ask that question, and not to dwell on it, but to say, let us try not to do that. Let's go for organic as much as possible. Let's go to the farmers across the world who are willing to give, and the countries that are willing to give that are not involved in the GMO production like some countries are. So if you go Europe, for example, if you're getting food, if we're in if we're in partnership with the European Union in terms of getting food in, not a bad idea. You're hardly going to get GMOs. If we go partnership with African countries, and there's so many African countries, West African countries, we see Ghana load up a whole trailer load, plane load, and more of things sending to Jamaica. Remember when I spoke to you this morning about Southcom, Africom, and Northcom, and so on? We talk about how Southcom meet Africom off the coast of West Africa. That's basically what it is, you know, in the waters there. Now, it's very easy. In the same way that Southcom just join up over there, it's a shipping route, same way. Anything will come from the coast of West Africa will reach to us in short order. If a plane, it will get to us in 4 hours, and probably less. You know, if you want to go back around and go through the Strait of Gibraltar, that's your business. Follow the route of the USS Gerald Ford. All these massive warships that the US sent into the Caribbean waters. What if it was building material, food, not GMOs, relief material, hurricane relief help, and not weapons, nuclear power, guns, and God knows what else? What if all of those, this armada, just parking at the Caribbean to help Jamaica, Cuba, and Haiti? We had originally we had Minister Floyd Green for half an hour, and I called back Vivian, our producer, and I said, Viv, agriculture is too important for half an hour. So let us see how we can include, and this is very early in the day, give Minister Green some more time. Tell me if he's okay with it. And he said yes, he was okay with it. And so we kind of extended the time. And here we are now, no Minister Green. But then, I'm not going to say that he was told not to come on. I'm going to say he's in a place where there's no connectivity. An increased risk of food inflation is something else that we wanted to talk about, but we hear some warning against that. We probably need a geologist and so on to help us look at the ecological and soil impacts, because we're watching and seeing what's happening across Jamaica, and boy, that is devastating. One of the things I notice a lot of people are talking about, right, is climate change. That climate change caused the hurricane. Well, I call BS on that. You know, I am not going to... Listen, when we were in high school, they were killing us about the ozone layer, right? Remember them said the sun, there's a hole in the ozone layer and the world are frightened. I mean, I was in Red Cross. I was in Key Club. I joined every club. Student Union, Girl Guide, Red Cross, March and all, the whole shebang. And they were telling us about this hole in the ozone layer. They're not saying that anymore. But they've said a lot of things over time. But I like to say something. I like to say something like Bedwood. I put up my hand, I have something to say. Which is to say that we are witnessing on our watch wanton construction on this island. And we are seeing, and we march against it, and talk against it, and cry against it, and tear it, we hear against it. We're seeing construction that includes the sale of our rivers, our seafront, our oceans, our beaches, our mountain streams. But it doesn't end there. If I sell and them it's still there's where they were meant to be. That's not bad or not bad. But I'm seeing something I've never seen in my entire life. We're seeing a wanton, is a careless, selfish, narcissistic, sociopathic, Machiavellian way of construction, which you come in and you buy the land and you get a massive swathes of land, and you want the land with the rivers, and you want the land in the in the watershed areas, and you get them, and then you change the river's the courses of the river, and you block off the beaches. So there's so many rivers that their courses have totally been changed. The river course changed, the part of the river changed. And we're not talking about no little stream, you know. We're talking massive rivers that when rain fall and you hear it, you're afraid of it. The river that thunders. That's why them call it the roaring river. Because when rain fall and that the river come down, when that the river they are tumble down, all when you are driving in your car, in your SUV, and you're high up on the ground and your window them wind up and the air conditioner say, one, you still hear the river that roars. Now they have changed the course of the roaring river. They have changed the course of the roaring river. They have changed the course of many other rivers. And what have they done? They're building, construction, concrete, entire cities are going up. And the consequences, we don't talk about the consequences of chopping down the mountains, of deforestation, of changing the river courses. We don't talk about the consequences of that at all. Of blocking off drains. We do not. No. We're going to COP 30, COP 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 30. And now we're in Brazil with a begging bowl talking about climate change. Climate change is a con. It's a con. What they're telling us is a con. Because until and unless you put back every river which it is supposed to today, and we see a different thing or the same thing, then you can talk to me about climate change. But right now, don't talk to none of me. You see, I cannot get into the climate change conversation, you know. I cannot, because I know it's a money-making, neoliberal con. I cannot get it. I've said this many times here. I do not subscribe to this conversation on climate change. I do not. I will not. Until you stop mining out the sea, mining out the cockpit country, drilling down into the sea, mining out the wall of the Caribbean, then you can tell me about climate change. Climate change, my foot. You are destroying the earth, and you're telling us that it is climate change. It's not climate change. You move the river. And the river have to find somewhere to go. No climate, no change. At the same climate when me and Pitney grew up. As a matter of fact, when I was young, we used to have, you know, heavy rains, same way like these. And the river, all of the river then go which are then supposed to go. And if they even block down something, we build it up back to more man and we're good again. The river, the same place which are supposed to do. Now, I don't know where the roaring river is. So we're in search of the roaring river. That's basically where we are now. Time and IRFM. It's a minute after 8 o'clock and we're in search of the roaring river. We're also in search of the Minister of Agriculture, who confirmed to be on this program for an hour, but has not turned up. So I don't know if there's going to be a national shift in the national agricultural policy, but I hear some conversation. And we are paying attention to that. What I'm afraid of, though, is that this is going to be, because you know how politicians are, and you know how this wider conversation on climate change, and especially when you talk climate change and you hit up with people like Bill Gates, although I hear him talking differently now because it don't suit him. But when you go into these spaces where there's a lot of funding, there's a whole lot of money. They create the problem. Is money laundering. They create the problem, them throw money on it, and them give it to small countries and so on. They're making a bag load of it. One of these days I'm going to talk you through how this climate change work. It's funding. It's funding. Show me one person who is not championing climate change, who not looking for grant. It's money. It's money. It's money. It's a funding industrial complex. So when we march against the mining in the cockpit country, we don't care if we get 1 cent for it. We're not doing it for the money. When we say free the beaches, we don't want no cent from it. You understand? We're talking about access. We're talking about protecting the land. We're talking about protecting ourselves. You get the point I'm making? Okay. It's all money at the end of the day. So they're going to wrap this into a climate change conversation. And before we know it, we're going to talk about greenhouse crops. Remember, we have a land we can plant a crop on, but we have the land that we can plant the crop on, but they have sold it all, right? They have turned the farmlands into concrete jungles. And now they're going telling us about greenhouse crops, right? They have sold the rivers, and now they're telling us about GMOs. They want to teach us another way to plant the same thing that we've been planting for years. So the farmers have lost so much. What are we about to tell the farmers who have lost so much? What are we going to tell them? Because right now, the immediate need is survival of the farmer and his family. You understand? And her family. So what is a plan? What is a plan? What is a plan for agriculture in Jamaica? Are we going to flood Jamaica with GMOs? And if we flood Jamaica and GMOs, will we tell the people that these are GMOs? Will we label them at least so that we have a choice? What are we about to bring into the island? That's what it is. Disaster capitalism is about to rear its head. Do not sell your land. Do not sell your land. Stand up against GMOs. But are we going to stand up against GMOs when we're hungry? Because if cornmeal come and it's cornmeal come, and we know cornmeal has been GMO from one of the first things that went GMO was corn. That's from the 80s. That's GMO. My phone is ringing. Please do not call me when I'm on air. Please text me. So here we are. Here we are.
Something that's real.
Agriculture in Jamaica has a potential to be the #1 income earner and to solve our unemployment. Jamaica and Singapore in terms of it. And I remember now, I just asked, may I ask? For those of us in the areas where there are so many unused crown lands, and you're saying to us plant, but we not really have no where for plant, what about the unused crown lands? Are you going to make them available, or we should have just go on? Because this is urgent, you know. The question is, what is the ministry's current stance on GMOs? I know, I can hear you saying, we're hungry right now, we don't even care if it is GMO or not. And this is where we are. And we are going to call for digital IDs. We're going to call for smart cities. We're going to call for GMOs. That's the plan. That's the plan. We're going to call for these things. So when we talk about food sovereignty, because one of the things, is that we talk about food security, food safety, but there's also food sovereignty. Remember, I did an entire series of program a few months ago on food sovereignty, which is to say that GMOs will kill seed sovereignty. And in that way, we will become more and more dependent on these multinational producers. If you have not read the book 1984 as yet by George Orwell, now might be the time to buy it. Let me know who's on the line. If you tell me who's on the line, I'll go straight to the line. Let me know. Should I go to the phone lines and take this call? Tell me what to do, because I'm doing that. I'm putting this call on the line. Who do we have on the line? I can't see you people. Let me see. Look at that. Minister, I'm so happy that...
Good morning. Apologies.
Look here, because I'm coming up with all kinds of reasons why you haven't come on. So I'm very happy that you're here this morning. Thank you so much.
Yes, I'm very happy that they're able to get me.
This is this is look here, you do it deliberately for shame, but it's okay. Thank you.
No, man,